Bilateral standing is how we're going to start. Feet are just outside your hips. You're going to pull the floor apart, and then we're trying to lift the ribs off of the hips just a little bit, and then just take some breaths. Then we're going to move on to unilateral standing, which is your walking stride. So you're going to go ahead and push forward with that back foot, pull back with your front foot, then we elevate the ribs off of the hips, trying to create space and tension in the abdominals. And then you're going to slightly rotate over that front foot. You're just going to go back and forth. Push and pull the floor with your feet. Push forward with the back foot. Pull back with the front foot. And now we add in the step. So we're really coming up on that. Heel comes up off the ground in the back. And then when you step backwards, that heel does not drop towards the floor. And again, rotating over the front foot always. Just like when you walk. Here we have heel lifts, so you're going to go ahead and press the dowel. You don't need the dowel, but press the dowel if you have one. A broomstick works well. And we're just lifting the heel up as high as we can, stretching the feet just a little bit, and then creating some ankle mobility. So this is a really important exercise. Make sure that you, again, practice elevating your ribs off of your hips, breathing out. So you're going to breathe out as you lift up. Now we're going to go side to side, so you're going to lift up that heel, and then you're going to go to your pinky toe, over to your big toe, and you're just going to go back and forth about 5 times, and then you're going to switch. So with that dowel, go ahead and press that dowel into the floor, and that's going to help you elevate your ribs off of your hips. We lift the heel, and then we go pinky toe to big toe, pinky toe to big toe, trying to limit how much your knee and your hip move. So we really isolate that ankle as best that you can. Next up, we have ankle circles. So we're going to go onto that pinky toe. You'll drop your heel a little bit, and then you'll come to the big toe. Again, we're trying to limit the amount of movement in the ankle and hip. It will move a little bit. And we're just going in this semicircle. Or actually, it's a full circle. Then we're coming back and doing the other side. So we go to the pinky toe, drop the heel, come to the big toe, and we're going 5 times around, trying to get that ankle to move in a circular motion. So your posture, breathing, it's not easy. Here we have hip rotations. So we plant that foot strong, take our time, we're elevated, and we're just lifting up and around, and then coming back the same direction that we just came from. We're going to get 5 on each side, stay tall, try not to rock too much. If you feel like you're off balance, I would just slow down and try to use a little bit of tension in your abdominals. This is a tough one to balance. So we lift the knee up, out and around, come back the direction that we just came from. So these are hip rotations, staying nice and tall in your posture. It's an easy one to start rocking side to side. Here we're going to do internal and external, so the knee comes up about hip height, and then we draw in and out. So internal and external rotation in the hip joint. You got to go slow. You can use balance here. See, I lost my balance. So if you have a wall or a chair, if you use your dowel, you can use your dowel as well. So the knee comes up. We internally, externally rotate. And you notice that the knee is staying pretty line with the hip. You don't want the knee moving a whole lot. And that's going to build strength and mobility inside that hip joint. Very hard. This is a hard one for me to do. Something I should work on. So internal, external rotation of the hip. And here we have our kneeling runner's lunge. You want to start with this exercise with your hips in front of your knee just a little bit. And one foot comes forward towards that hand, which can be very difficult. And then when we rotate and open up, you want to try to create a perpendicular line from your wrist down through to your other wrist. And then we're going to do this from a long plank, so toes into the floor. Again, trying to get the foot towards the hand. And then we slowly exhale and open up. And hopefully we have a straight line down towards the floor. It's a very challenging exercise, but super beneficial for the entire body. So a runner's lunge feels hard. Do it from your knees. If you feel like you can do it from your toes without losing posture, this is how you should do it right here. Standing, so starting the spine work. We did this at the beginning. So we're going to press through the feet, pull the floor apart, lifting the ribs off of the hips. We're just trying to find that best posture possible so that when we do our next exercises, we remember what it's like to have a very long spine. Next exercise, we're going to be in that plank position, and this is pelvic tilt. So we're moving the lower spine, So we anterior tilt, creating hyperextension. Then we posterior tilt, so that you want to drop the spine, then you want to lift the spine. Taking your time, inhaling, exhaling, making sure that you're not shrugging in this movement. Now we're going to go knees right under the hips. This is cat and cow, where we do that basically same motion that you just did during pelvic tilt, and we're going to do the whole spine. So we lift the chin, lift the tailbone, then we tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, lifting the spine. We want to exhale on each end. So we exhale as we lift the spine, exhale as we drop the spine, and you're trying to lift that spine as high as you can with a long exhale. We're going to do thread the needle. So again, hands and knees. Take one arm in, right under. We're threading the needle between your hand and your knee. And we're rotating your spine, that thoracic spine. You may find that one side's a little bit tighter than the other. That is okay. That's why we're doing this. You want to try to keep your hips neutral. And then we press that hand down nice and strong so we have shoulder stability. So a long exhale as you rotate. We inhale as we switch and exhale to the other side. This is thread the needle. Very, very good for stretching out that upper back, so your thoracic spine, teaching it to rotate properly. It's a fantastic exercise. Full body rotations, we're getting into the shoulder joint. So internal, external rotation. We want to check in on those feet. Make sure you stay on the ball of your feet, not your tippy toes. So the hand that comes in front, palm down. The hand that goes back is going to be palm up. It's a great exercise to exhale and rotate the whole body from your toes all the way up into your upper spine, into your neck. Exhale as you reach back, each side. Overhead presses. So we're going to do what we did at the beginning and make sure your standing position is really good by elevating your ribs off of your hips. And then we're basically trying to pretend we're sliding our hands up a wall. So the hands end up over the crown of the head with a nice exhale. Taking your time down, squeeze the shoulder blades down and away, and then reaching up, trying not to shrug with an exhale. So strong position in your feet. That's that standing position we practiced. Now we're going to do side bend. So we go up to that overhead reach, and you're reaching up and away. So you don't have to side bend too far. So we have those ribs off of the hips, tailbone tuck, that pelvic tilt you practiced. And we're trying to create length from the wrist to the hip. And we're keeping the hands in line with the body. So typically the hands are going to want to move forward. Your job as best you can is to keep them over the crown of your head so that your wrist, your shoulder, your hips, and your ankles are all on the same plane. This is casting, and you can use a dowel for this. Best case scenario, you don't need to. You can just have that movement in your wrist. So standing position, we're elevated, brace, good posture, and then we're just extending the wrist and then contracting. Extending, you've got it. So taking your time with that, trying not to move your arm too much. You do 5 per side. So standing position, strong feet, strong abs, strong posture. And then we're just letting that wrist extend out, and then we're coming just beyond neutral and breathing out as you do your repetition. So that is casting. The propeller is next. Good standing position. We're rotating basically the forearm, which is going to rotate the wrist. We want to try not to over-rotate. That becomes a shoulder exercise. We want to get that wrist and forearm rotating. So pretty basic right here. Standing position is crucial. Posture is crucial to protect the shoulder. We rotate internally. We rotate externally. So breathing out as we rotate. Inhale, exhale. And we are building some nice quality rotation in the wrist. Here we have chin to throat. It's going to look a little funny. It's okay. You're going to literally stick your chin way out, and then you're going to give yourself a double chin. And so we go from a hyperextended neck to a more neutral neck. And we want to be nice and neutral to promote really good posture. So chin goes out, chin comes in. For our ear to shoulder, one hand behind, we're going to go away from that arm, thinking about ear towards the shoulder. Exhaling as you do so, no real rush. And then you're going to do 5 and switch sides. Hand goes behind the low back. Again, we're elevated, so our great standing position. Creating some muscle memory there. And then the chin towards the ear. We're not rotating. We're just dropping that off to the side with an exhale. Looking behind into your back pocket. So here you can move your upper body a little bit to rotate, and you want to literally think about looking into your back pocket. So exhale as you turn and look down towards your pocket. Inhale through the center, exhale to the other side. So we're getting rotation and stretching that neck, maybe even into your shoulder. You did it. You are ready to train. So remember to use proper footwork, stay elevated, use good posture, continue to mobilize those joints, and you're going to move freely, pain-free, ready to train better, move better, feel better, and stick around. Paige is going to be talking to you about a way to join our training program for free. Congratulations.